Ladies and gentlemen, how are we getting on? My name is Maroxide from Team Redirect. You are watching the Redirect podcast, and tonight we have a little bit extra. Tonight we are joined by Malanfi as always, and we are joined by Uncle B Games. So we always start off the podcast kind of talk about what we've been up to for the last couple of weeks, and mine and Ken's doesn't really change, but we have an extra person. So we'll start with him. Uncle B, what have you been up to, man?
Well, lads, sure. As you know myself, I'm kind of switching between games quite a lot. Trying to manage the new life of just living away from home. But I've recently got into Resident Evil thanks to Mr. Malanfi there, and boy, Jesus, did I love it! I literally completed it in 2 long ass streams. But,
Just to be clear, which one?
I was done RE7, so RE7 Biohazard. Absolutely loved it. Got a bit annoyed at it, but I loved it. So I will definitely be going back and playing all of the Resident Evil series. And I'm really looking forward to it. But other than that, I've literally just been chilling with you guys and playing games. What more can I say?
And with herself that's busy in the background there as well, making sure that she's off camera.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does.
Shout out to the Aurora Phoenix.
It is Phoenix there in the background. She just moved off so she can't be seen.
Sure. Never thought how she be a shy one.
She's not. She just kind of doesn't like to intrude.
Fair enough.
She intruding, it's us.
Yeah, that's true. So, but yeah. So you might as well let us know what you've been doing, and you know what's that yoke on your head there, Maroxide?
Oh, this. So this is my Redirect beanie that I got from our Teespring store. I'm the only person in the world with one of these right now, and I'm very happy to have it because it's been very cold outside. But no, what have I been up to? The things that have changed. Number 1, I finished the SNES version of Final Fantasy VII. I know I haven't beaten the last boss, but I literally just have to farm for it. It's done. There's nothing else that's going to see it's new.
It's not done until it's done.
I'll finish it, Ken. Don't worry about that. I started Metal Gear Solid Ghost Babel last night on stream, and it is incredible. Ken, you mentioned it yesterday actually when we were talking about it while I was streaming it. You were saying it's slightly based around Shadow Moses. It is very similar, but you got like for a Game Boy Color game, even towards like like Snake's running mechanics when you watch his like run and stuff. It's just really well done. Like I didn't expect so much to be on a cart that was in a Game Boy Color. What else have I been playing? Valheim.
All I can say there is at least now when I go and watch you play one of those games, you won't be in the same room over and over and over again.
Well, that's what speedrunning is, man. Yes, I have spent a lot of time in one room in the last couple of weeks. But, well, don't we all spend a lot of time in one room? Like streaming? But no, that's what I'm playing. I have all my Japanese SNES cards. They all arrived in the last week. So I got the translation patches for them as well. So I'll be going through them pretty soon. Have I been playing anything else? Jesus, Ken, what have I been playing?
You were playing a bit of Monster Sanctuary as well, weren't you?
Oh, Monster Sanctuary, what a game! Monster Sanctuary is, and I talked about this last week. Obviously, I haven't, but it is an absolute gem. If you haven't got it, do pick it up. I actually have a copy to give away. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but I'll get around to it. Yeah, I think that's me. I didn't play much this week, apart from FF7. It's been a long week. Yeah. Ken, what the hell have you been playing?
So, a little bit more of the same as usual. I was just about to swap back to you. Little bit of, wants to see me concentrate on Cold War. It'd be brilliant just to have you in the background just every now and again. For fuck, but anyway. So
we need the publicity.
So basically, I've been doing more of the Mellathon. I've gotten through a good couple of more games, and I'm currently doing the door skip version of CVX, which is done through a PS3 emulator. It's really good. Like there's
Holy Grail.
It actually is really good. Like it's for me personally, just the fact that the heartbeat doors aren't there, it makes it so much more playable. It's just unreal. Like it is unreal.
There's
with
something
this.
about having a bunny dance around your face, Ken, that I'm just very happy about right now.
You can't beat a funny dancing in the beard.
Yeah, sure. And thank you for that host as well, Evil. But other than that, I had a bit of an itch to go back and do a little bit of de-rusting for save loads for lives, where I'll be doing a run of the all cutscenes category of Wand of Gamelon. And I ended up last night taking the world record back, so I'm happy with that as well. Other than that, there hasn't been much else. I've been playing a lot of Valheim. Myself and Missy got to the point of being able to beat the last boss. Beating the last boss is after laying hell on the whole world on anyone else who doesn't have high-end gear. But we'll persevere. We'll persevere and get there. But anyway,
Okay.
Huh?
I was going to say, who'll persevere? I'm going to walk outside the gap and get absolutely mashed around. The poor dogs.
The dogs are able to handle themselves.
Well, I can't.
There's about 40 of the bastards at this stage.
You think that's bad, Moroxide? I'm sure if I log on, I'd die within seconds.
No. We'll get everyone geared up. But yeah, that's been me, and here's the rest of them.
Here's your all.
So, there's been a couple of things that have been brought up that we've been made aware of this time round.
Number one, we want to apologize for Ken's nip slip the other day.
What?
We did get contacted by certain authorities, and it has been solved.
Okay then.
No. Anyway, it was just the way you said it. The way you said it, it was like, we've been contacted about it, and it's like,
I didn't say
complete
contacted. I said we've looked into a couple of things.
We said we've been made aware of.
Yeah,
You did.
yeah.
I had to take the opportunity. Ken. I had to.
Well, look, it's the stuff that you do on a Friday evening for a kebab. I can't. It'd be illegal for me to talk about it.
Not to mention,
Friday.
damn near close to being just borderline TOS.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I do with the kebab, not to get it.
It's a mixed bag.
Right,
Off
slowly
the bat.
moving on.
So, first thing, like this is something that we've been debating whether or not to bring this up on the podcast recently, and we were kind of thinking, look, we'll leave it for now. But it's after getting to that point now where it's unavoidable. This whole thing between Epic Games and Apple. All started out, for anyone unaware, it all started out as Epic Games Store were trying to put in a monetary system that bypassed Apple and Google Play's services. So there's always a thing, like, it's not so much a catch-22 because it's just the normal thing now, where whenever you have your application or your like whatever on a mobile platform, whoever is in charge of that mobile platform, Android, Google, iPhone being Apple, they get a cut of the sales when there's in-app purchases, and it's part of the terms that needs to be in place. That was in place for years, and Epic decided to circumvent that and make a way where they keep 100% of the profits. That's what started this. So it looks like there is a court case happening, and it is starting in the first week of May. What do you guys think of this?
As you go ahead.
This whole situation has finally gotten a date that we'll actually know what is going to happen with it, because it's been going on for like almost like 6 months already, and like literally it's one of those situations where, first of all, Epic Games, And then on the other hand, we have Apple who are like, yeah. But together, it's actually quite fun to watch.
I do have to agree with you
But,
there. Like, sorry, go ahead.
I think that, like, if you agree to put something on someone else's platform and you sign an agreement and you break that agreement, like, you know, you're easily in the wrong. And Epic Games have decided that they're not in the wrong, that they're like above the contract they signed to begin with. And it's actually good to see something happen to these guys who have been, well, first of all, I don't know much about Fortnite anymore. It seems like it's starting to fall off the face of the earth. Um, but at the same time, like, you're charging people for fucking colors, literally just pixels. It's not going to make any difference to the game whatsoever. And you're going to make a complaint about the company you're using to sell those pixels to kids.
It was I'm sure what was the industry standard? Was it 27, 28%, something like that?
It was a 30% cut
Yeah,
was
30%.
from the App Store payments, and they
Yeah.
reduced it
But that's saying
down
it's not
to
only the App Store, it's also the Google Play Store. It's literally
the Google
just
Play Store.
it's industry standard across everything.
Yeah, and then Apple since lowered its fee to 15% for developers earning under 1 million a year.
The worst thing about it is I don't get how they've done this yet. Like if they were to give out or if they were to try something with Sony or Microsoft, they'd be absolutely fucked. They'd be dead in the water. Second of all, I don't see how the mobile gaming industry is that big when it comes to a game like this.
It's
No,
the
nor
fact
can
that
I.
it's a fact that it's a free game, and it's like there's more and more kids, especially now with the COVID situation,
Yeah, you
where the kids
procreating
need,
fuckers.
but the kids need the likes of iPads and stuff like that so that they can do the Zoom meetings with the schools and stuff like that. More so in the
Mm.
States than anywhere else. But then all of a sudden, here's a free game to keep them distracted.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, you see the likes of us, we can go out and afford to splash out on say these big systems where we can run things. You have to look at the niche market they're going for, which is obviously the younger generation only having iPads, small little laptops, and they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Whereas they're trying to challenge as you said, an industry standard. And in my opinion, they're absolutely failing at it because they're picking the wrong apples.
So to say.
Oh, that was great. Oh, I like that one. I like that one.
But you're right there. Like Phoenix is right there as well. Like most of the money that they make is microtransactions. Even the applications that might cost you, €20, €30 to throw onto your device. It is the whole thing where I've seen marriages end. I've seen people getting into a cutthroat kind of mood because they have a family member, they have a friend, they have another half, whatever, who's just going through loads of in-app purchases, and they like it'll be.
Trying to get out my World of Warcraft addiction? Is that what you're trying to do now?
That's
an
a
intervention?
completely different
Yeah,
kettle of fish.
nobody.
But it's like do you know the way there's these games? There's this an example. Let's just say there's these games where there's just like a detective type of thing. But to be able to solve the cases, you need these coins or you need these special silver forks or something, whatever the currency is.
Magical pixie dust.
And for a
Yes.
pack of 20 of them, it costs you 99¢. So everyone says to themselves, like, it's how marketing works. Like, you know this better than anyone, Fano. It says it's 99¢, you're thinking, sure, fuck it, it's €1. But 60 or 70 down the line.
Yeah, no, it's like what they've done with such a what I would call substandard game has been amazing. Like that's just for Epic, whatever. But you're literally with this whole thing, you're biting the hand that feeds you. Like you've literally just decided, screw this. We're going to go and bring out a class action lawsuit against you because you want a cut of the money for selling our stuff on your store. which in contract, when they sign over these deals and stuff like that, it's in the contract with an agreed amount. These things aren't just, these numbers don't come out of thin air. All this stuff is agreed upon when you decide to put your stuff up on these stores.
And you'd understand if it was a paid application, because there might be
Yeah.
something where you could say, look, we'll take this much from the App Store sales itself, but you get to keep all the in-app transaction stuff. But
Well,
there is
with
no
the-
App
with the-
Store sale.
With the paid app as well, they control how much the app itself sells for. So if there's sales and stuff like that, they control all that stuff in house. But this is like, that's like me saying to you, Ken, look, I have £100 bar tab behind the bar, for myself, but you can have 1 or 2 drinks off it, and then you go and buy the keg, and I have no money.
Yeah.
First of all, share the keg with me, because I will be very, very angry.
But there's an example of this with every, and the thing is, a lot of people seem to complain about it on both sides, right? So there's this side of it where we see Epic that are trying to make sure that all of the money spent goes to them. None of it goes to the owner of the platform, right? And as you said, if they try this with Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo, like all Apple and Google Play did was remove the game from the store. Could you imagine if this got removed from PlayStations, Xboxes, and Nintendo Switches?
It's game over.
It would kill them completely.
And then there's the other side of it. Look at even on Twitch, on the Twitch app. Let's say I'm only talking about our locality, our currency. A sub is €5. A tier 1 sub is €5, right? But if you're to do that through the App Store on an iPhone, because it's going through that, and there's that 30% and all that sort of stuff, you need to get these tokens, and the tokens are €7.
Quite
And
literally.
that's why anyone who does subscribe to us and stuff like that, on our channels, we decide, like, I have a thing there for like a link for people who want to use sub for mobile, so it doesn't cost them that, so it costs
It'll
them
go
£5.
to the website, yeah.
Exactly.
Go to the actual desktop website. That way, you're
Yeah.
not using the app purchases.
Um,
Save you that £2 extra. That
I
goes
think
obviously
Google
back.
circumvented. They didn't circumvent it, but Google did a way where in the app itself you're subbing to the platform itself. You're not doing it through the App Store kind of thing. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Do you know?
Yeah.
The way I think it works is, like, I think they go through the Xsolla platform, which is Twitch's basic sub platform, rather than going through like your direct one. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
going to their platform and then being allocated to your channel.
But like, we've kind of drifted off into just this money war now. I don't know how this happened. But like, yeah, I honestly can't see Epic coming out of this at all, no matter how this goes about coming out in the right.
See,
I
I
don't
don't-
roll around and
I
shit and
don't-
come out smelling the roses.
But that's the thing. I don't get where they're coming from. Like one quote from the lawyers on Epic's behalf. They're alleging that Apple is a behemoth seeking to control markets, block competition, and stifle innovation, saying that Apple's practices are anti-competitive and monopolistic. How are they monopolistic when their industry standard is the same as Google's, Android phones, and back then the Windows phone?
How can you say it's monopolistic when you're the one trying to take that away from, like, you're literally the ones going, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to do
You're trying to
our
pull the
way.
monopoly in your favor.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, it's very, the whole thing is very hypocritical, and I just hope that they get absolutely roasted over. I still have never gotten over the fact that Epic Games pulled Paragon, okay? I know it's like 5 years later, but that game was brilliant.
But to before we move on, anyway, it's just like there's a final note here, just saying the trial's it's supposed to start on the 3rd of May. The judge that's going to be doing the trial. That's the term. They're hoping for it to be around 2 to 3 weeks, while Epic are saying they want it to last over a month.
That just means that they're just going to keep pumping money into this. Like, literally, this is going to take away from their resources for their community, for their devs, everything. Expect them to have a bad year. If you were a stock market person, pull your stock out of Epic Games right now.
Quite literally. Because it is going to tank over the next couple of weeks.
Well, even yeah, like until this case is settled and we know what's going to happen, I wouldn't be backing them anyway. It's that's like they think,
look at it.
we have. They're like it's like no, but they think like, oh, we have Fortnite, we have the kids on our side, and it's like, yeah, but you're taking on Apple and Google, you fucking morons.
The
But
people
it's
who can
that whole
tweet
thing that
100,000
like yes, but that's the thing. They like the companies, and when I say the companies, I mean Google and Apple. They pulled the ability to download the game through official means. So the Google Play
Yes.
Store and the Apple
The
store as
iPhone
well.
or iStore, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Passport.
And it's just the fact that, like, yes, there is the whole thing with Apple with anti-piracy and all that, where you're not able to install third-party applications. So there you go. You're not able to get it on any Apple devices. Whereas on the
Any
Google
Android
one,
device.
on the Android devices, there is ways of circumventing that. Like people are after finding you can go into third-party stores like the Samsung Galaxy store, as opposed to going to Google Play, and you can still download it.
100%.
But you
Um,
cannot get any in-app purchases.
Yeah. Like, look, at the end of the day, it's like being me and going up against Mike Tyson. Like I'm going to lose. I even now because he's still a beast.
And that's
But
the
like,
thing, yeah, like the services aren't blocked on devices. So if you had, like, it was just pulled from the store. Like if you had it on your phone, like let's say if I had it on my iPhone here, I'd still have it. I can still play it, but there's
you
no
can't update it
updates.
or anything though.
Exactly.
No.
So as soon as they go to a new season, there you go. You can't connect.
But you already can't connect because of like it was a long time ago when this started.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Mm.
But anyway,
We'll move on.
the next one I'd say
Okay,
you
this-
should you should take on this one just for the fact that you're the only bastard here with a PS5, you prick.
Just flex a bit more there. Sorry, I had to stretch that.
Did you get back in your box?
No, like this for me is one of the like I don't know about anyone else in the history of subscriptions, PlayStation Plus, Xbox like Live Gaming, whatever. This month is the best month of all time.
It's a very good lineup.
It is.
People who have PS Plus get on and download everything, and not
At
only
least
that,
add it to your
today
library. You know.
add it to your library exactly. Today, Ratchet and Clank, the 2016 game, has been added to the PS4 and PS5 library for free as well. And this isn't a part of PlayStation Plus. This is actually a part of
The
PlayStation's Play at Home initiative. They've given this out for free, and obviously, I think it's to come up with the fact that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart comes out in June.
Mm-hmm.
Could just give people something to play on the build up to it. But seriously, like, this is just such a good piece of news. Like I was like, we have all these arguments, fighting, whatever else going on in the world right now. Get some free games, guys. You got Final Fantasy VII Remake if you haven't played it, or if you haven't played anything in the series. It's a very good place to start, and it's awesome. Fano approved. Marquette or Marquette is that? I don't know.
Marquette, yeah.
I haven't.
Okay.
I know that's a PS5 only title, but add it to your library because when it comes out, Then we have something for Ken. Farpoint. It's a PSVR only game. And then I don't know if anyone's played this. I've heard good things about this, but never actually played it. I have it on Steam or on Epic Games Store, one or the other. Remnant from the Ashes, which is supposed to be kind of like a Soulsborne game. But you have so you've got Ratchet and Clank, you've got Final Fantasy VII Remake, this McKetty game, I don't know what the fuck that is. Remnant from the Ashes and Farpoint. You've got 200 and if they're all 50 quid games, they're 250 quid. But obviously some of them are 70. So you've got roughly about 250 quid's worth of games for free at the moment. And it's a good time to kind of start, stockpiling these things.
Definitely, because by the way things are going, we're looking at spending quite another while in lockdown. And if you've already burned through your current library, a couple of extra games that you've never played before, absolutely brilliant. Like I know myself from Ratchet and Clank, I played that as a kid when it first came out, and an absolute amazing game, and I'm really looking forward to going back to it.
Yeah, is it a remake of the original,
It's a
or is it?
remake of the original series. It was remade in 2016 for it was basically a graphical update.
Okay.
And
So I wasn't sure
then,
because I know like you know the way Tomb Raider, when it came out as Tomb Raider again, it was like something new, whatever.
yeah, that was a hard remake.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, exactly. It was completely. I wasn't sure if it was the same as that.
It was kind of just a remake.
Just trying to
Well,
see
but that's
if
but that's
there's
the thing,
any.
that play home initiative really does seem to be. It's don't get me wrong, the PlayStation Plus games, it still isn't something that's doing much to combat, like if they're looking to be competitive against the Game Pass, right? But the Play at Home initiative is definitely a step in the right direction, because it's the whole thing that every month or two they'll just throw out a random AAA game. And it was last year that they have started that, because of the fact that people can't go to stores. They can't. It's not so much happening here anymore. Like the last time I remember seeing this here in Ireland was about 10 years ago. It might be different in Dublin, I don't know, but I'm talking about Cork. Over in the States, especially, and I remember seeing it in the UK and the likes of Scotland, you still have the whole thing where you can go to a store and they have a setup of a console where it's all locked into a cage and you can play a game for 10 minutes.
Hmm. Yeah, no, we don't have that quite as much now in Dublin. Like we used to have one that I used to go down to every time down in the Omni Shopping Centre down near Ballymun. I used to go down there every couple of weeks to see what new title they had. Because obviously being younger, couldn't I was
Those were the days. Remember going to
days where you
shops?
could just walk into the likes of GameStop, game, anything,
Game,
and just
yeah.
play away.
Anyone remember shops?
Anyone remember
Um,
cinemas?
Not any decent ones, in anyway.
I want to compare this because you know Xbox Live do games for gold, and I know they have the Game Pass. They're two separate things, but Xbox games for gold and PlayStation Plus, they would be your competitors, and then you'd have PlayStation Now versus what's the other one called? Game Pass.
Game
Pass.
That would be the way I would have it later. Anyway, but like to just put to put it in comparison, the games for gold for this month are Metal Slug 3 and Warface Breakout, which comes to a combined value of $30.
And look
And
how
then you've
much
got
else you can
Ubisoft
get with.
Uplay.
But
Brennan's
look how
correct
much else you can get with Game Pass.
Yes, but you're not. I'm comparing these things directly and how they should be.
Fair
Mhm.
enough.
PlayStation
the
Plus
only
versus Game Pass.
Yeah, but the thing is, the reason why they put that stuff on the PlayStation Plus right now is to combat the Game Pass.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also like you gotta remember when the PS5 came out, you got like all of the classic titles for free, like you got Bloodborne and stuff like that as well. So
And
I
you
mean,
got all
Sony.
of 2 PS5 games.
Mhm.
Excuse you. I have had bug snacks. I have had Control. I have had something else that I cannot remember.
Obviously, it wasn't worth remembering.
And now I have Machetti, which I still don't know what that is.
Well, I have
It's a
to
puzzle game. It's a
ask.
first-person puzzle game.
One thing though that I have to ask is, with the PS5, other than, don't get me wrong, brilliant looking game. I've never played it myself. Other than Demon Souls,
Oh,
when's the next exclusive going to happen?
stop for a
I
second.
have no idea, but if you hear the news, they are actually looking at like pushing back God of War.
Let's
which
be
I'm
honest though.
happy about.
Good.
I'm actually quite
Yeah.
happy about, because I
Let's
need
be-
them to work on this, because I do not want disappointment from that game.
I'm sorry, but it's every time Reddit says anything, I just can't help but laugh.
Oh, Rennet.
Love it. But the new Ratchet and Clank comes
The
out
new
in
one's
June, I think.
June 11th on the PS5.
Yeah.
But there is the Ratchet and Clank that came out a couple of years ago. You can download right now for free.
For free. Yep. Yeah, there's like like you think the Play at Home initiative as well. Like they also did the Uncharted games and Journey. They also came out for free in the last year.
I'd say Moroxide might have a problem with that comment.
I love my doggy, okay? Red's my boy. Nanaki for life, bro.
Now to move on to something. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not surprised by this. I'm not surprised by this at all.
What?
So I am not surprised at all.
In the age we're in right now, this is probably one of the craziest things I've read in the last week.
Okay. I'm saying that I saw this coming. Maybe not to this extent, but I saw this being a major thing. Moroxide is saying that he's very surprised by this. Doom Eternal. Ever since that has launched, it has made more than $450 million in sales.
And yet, you know,
it was definitely well deserving. Because
it's not even a year old yet.
2016, that game has been on the up and up.
Oh, definitely. And the thing is, they took the good things that people loved from Doom 2016, and they took the complaints from 2016 asking for stuff that was in the classic, and they put it all into Eternal. And there's the DLC came out. I haven't played the DLC yet. The Chosen Gods or something like that it's called.
And the only DLC you have is that unicorn outfit.
No, that was a Twitch Prime drop.
Do you not have it?
I do.
You do have it.
Yeah.
As I said, that's the only DLC you have.
But that's not DLC. That was Twitch Prime.
I would call that DLC.
But there's that. And supposedly, like, I remember playing through, I think I got through like 60 or 70% of the campaign. Then Final Fantasy VII Remake came out. So I haven't touched it since.
But you still haven't finished.
Because Resident Evil 3 then came out.
RE3.
That's not an excuse. Okay.
No, I still need to go back to them.
No, that game is not an excuse for anything. That's like, that's like going, oh, I can't go to school today, ma'am, because the kid next door has Spider-Man on DVD.
No,
look at you flexing like you have a PS5
again. Yeah, but Ken, definitely, like, obviously, I know you most likely played the original Doom games. Doom Eternal, it literally takes you on a trip back in time.
Like, it has everything. It has the big weapons. It has the enemies that you think are going to completely mess you up. And the best thing about it, the more enemies are on screen, the heavier the music gets.
That's one of the best things about it.
I always love the score for that game.
The thing about it is, like, with obviously what happened with Bethesda and stuff over the last year as well, you would think that this would have done. Like, I'm completely shocked by this. I think like the way the last year has gone for especially for Bethesda and them closing their stores and all that. I thought that this must have bombed. Like,
really?
$450 million in less than a year. It's a hell of a lot of money. And nowadays, when everything has that, pay to play initiative or whatever you want to call it, I think to see a game, obviously, first of all, kudos to id Software. Let's put it out there. Yeah. They put out a formula in 2016. They listened. They put out a formula in 2020. It's cleaned up, and when they put out their next one, everyone's going to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it could make $500 million in a year, it blows my mind. Simply because AAA titles, especially FPSs, because FPSs aren't games that hold their value. They fly up and down in price.
Except Call of Duty. Call of Duty always stays very expensive for no reason at all.
It's just because they're bad. They're trying to make up the money.
No, if you want to buy Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 right now, it still costs 60 quid.
Yeah.
But like literally to have a one of the game that's like a best-selling game, and then release a sequel to it, and it also be a best-selling. It doesn't really happen with companies anymore. Usually, there's a fall off. Like, what I mean? My example would be RE2 remake versus RE3 remake.
No, don't get me wrong. I really liked RE3 remake, but I can see where people had the complaints from. Like I understand where people are coming from. But I've always been an advocate of, and a lot of people disagree with me on this. I'm an advocate of, if you don't like the new one because it's not like the old one, then fuck off and play the old one. No one's forcing you to play the new one.
Quite literally, yeah. Now, just
Stand up.
kind of
like-
moving back to
Yeah. No, go on.
moving
Yeah.
back to the topic that we were on. The one thing that surprised me from this article was obviously Hugo Martin even spoke about ideas for a Doom girl.
Yeah. There's the Doom Girl thing, and
Mm.
but there's also a DLC coming out soon. So like this could hit the $500 million, like $500 million. Like that just blows my mind. That figure is just like, you know, what I mean, like in the 90s when we had magazines and everything was like through the grapevine. Doom was and still is the greatest FPS of all time. If you want to fight me, I'll meet you at Coppers. Let's go.
I still have my signed poster there from John Romero. Like,
But the thing about it is, like, you know, I mean, it was nominated for so many awards. Doom Eternal. It did not win Best Score in Music.
yeah, I was so surprised.
What kind of like absolute morons take care of this category? Have you listened to this game at
It's
all?
people who were paid off to lick the arses.
This is
of
Epic
everyone.
Games again.
No, it was people that were paid off to lick the arses of The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
Just like
Don't get me
Quite literally,
wrong. Don't get me wrong. As far as I've
watching the
heard,
Game
it's a good
Awards,
game.
The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand.
Oh.
It probably is a very good game. I haven't played it. I loved the first one. But did it really deserve all of that, especially after the PR that they had for the last year?
here's a couple of things about Doom Eternal, right? Doom Eternal was the first game to get pushed back in the whole pushback of games, where they said we're going to push it back. It was originally supposed to come out in 2019, I think, like November. I was
And
working in
they wanted to
GameStop at the
polish
time,
it.
anyway. And they said, no, we're going to release it in, was it March or February 2020? It gives us time to just polish it up and get it out there.
It was just before Final Fantasy VII, yeah.
Yeah, it was March. Then, obviously, it came out, it did bits and all that. But they came out and they said, like, literally, we just want to finish a couple of things off. You'll get the game. It will be ready when it comes out. And I haven't seen anything from this game that has let me down where I've said, oh, they need to patch this, they need to fix that. This game came out finished. All of the other games that came out, like, obviously, Final Fantasy VII Remake was another one that was pushed back, but it was pushed back literally so that it didn't coincide with another game that they were releasing. Was it Kingdom Hearts 3?
It was
Or something like that?
Well, no, that was different. That was where the director was working on both Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 7 at the same time. But more Kingdom Hearts 3 was done, so they said, let's not touch Final Fantasy 7 until Kingdom Hearts
We have this
releases.
out. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
You didn't want to spread and dilute the resources.
Yeah.
Then we obviously got that, and like I think it's a great game. Other people can think what they want, but it was a finished game. Then you have CD Projekt Red. And I don't like bringing them up because I have been hawking them out of it lately. I keep pushing back a game, and it's still not finished. Like,
Then they get hacked and their source code pulled. They're a
I'm
barrel
so
on fire at the moment.
I'm just so impressed with Doom Eternal, and if you haven't played it, guys, do either pick it up or find someone that has it, or what. Just somehow get your hands on it and
But
play
you
it.
have to admit, like ID Software and Bethesda, the two of them have always had their head screwed on. Like, don't get me
That's
wrong,
the
there's
thing.
that fella that's behind what's your man?
Fallout 76.
Well, not only Fallout 76, but just Fallout and Skyrim in general, or Fallout and Elder Scrolls in general, was a Todd.
Hodgelot, I don't care.
But the fella that whenever he goes on stage, everyone's like, "Oh, Todd Howard, thank
Todd
you."
Howard.
That's him, yeah.
Thank you.
Like it's the whole thing that, like, even when the whole thing with Cyberpunk happened, there was a meme of someone going, "No, Todd, don't do it," and him going, "What?" Because he, like, the whole thing of releasing the game before it's done, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, imagine like being that unpopular. When you go on stage, people are like, "Don't talk about something good." Like, I'm so happy for, like, Doom has always had a place in my heart. Like, as a kid playing it, you know, getting worried when, you know, Doom guy's face was battered up and you had like 12 health. Good times.
Um,
And
But
still to this day, I can always go back, play Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, and still have fun no matter how many times I play it.
yeah, I just think it's a good game that deserves the praise. I just did not, in any way, shape, or form, think it would do as well as it has. I am completely surprised by the figures it's pulled, and can't wait to see the DLC come out. When is that out? Is that next month or this month?
the Ancient Gods. Ancient Gods Part 1 is out, and the next part of it should be out before the summer.
Okay, we'll
All right.
definitely have to get a whack on that.
Oh, and that's the thing, Phoenix. If you do end up playing it, make sure that the headphones are securely on. And with that, thank you so
True.
much for the sub as well, Phoenix.
Also, that reminds me of forgot to do something that I was supposed to be doing.
Hello, Scott Pilgrim.
But make sure that you do put on the headphones tight. You turn it up as fast or as much as possible. You know, you won't be disappointed.
It's I literally whenever I'm doing something intense, that is the playlist I go to. It was the Doom's 2016 soundtrack.
They're just brilliant.
Even the original one, like the original Doom soundtrack, is unreal as well. The it's always a go-to.
Now we're moving on to more cancellations in the world.
Do you want to run us by this one, Brendan?
So basically, the news behind this is EA has cancelled Motive's Gaia after 6 years in development. Basically, EA pulled the plug on Gaia. It was 6 years in the making and had a kind of a reboot in the middle of it. I think they showed it at the next gen showcase.
It really did look good. Like we have a video here we can take a quick look at if you like.
Yeah, work away. It looked like a step, like for an EA title, first of all. It looked like they were going like a step in the right direction to produce something that people could get like so many memories from.
Generation shifts are an opportunity to push.
And then 6 years into the making of it, like they just pulled the title altogether.
Like not only that, now the studio that was working on it, basically the entire team has now to be kind of distributed now between whatever projects they have going on, and they're saying that they have quite a few projects in gestation and in final development. But the project leader told Bloomberg that just gave them no information whatsoever.
So it kind of seems like it's another situation of what happened with the with Google Stadia of just, oh look, we're investing so much money into this massive team, and then a week later they're all fired.
Yeah. Quite literally.
It just feels like lost promises. Like it's horrible what's happening at the moment. Like I understand we're in a pandemic, we're doing this, that, here. Things have to be done, sacrifices have to be made, but never just cancel something. Like you've put so much money into making these resources, to making these things, viable, and people's hearts and souls.
Don't get me wrong. I'd say it's never done in vain. Like it's never done as a whole. Oh, just cut it all. I'd say there's definitely a very hard decision made where they have to calculate, if we cut it now, do we risk losing the money that we just made, or are we risking to lose even more if we continue development? Do you know what I mean?
The thing about this is it actually felt like a game that like we hadn't seen. Like it was something new. It felt original.
Sandbox. It literally could do anything with.
Yeah.
Should look at Gary's mod.
Literally, it's a.
But that's it.
That's it. What that could have made absolute millions. You look at the likes of content creators that had Gary's mod running for years, and I'd say that made a ton of money. Just think of what they could have done with a graphically updated, vastly superior game like Gaia.
This also comes off the back of like EA. Like this is like. I don't like EA, but I really like, at this time in the world, the way it is, I'm pushing for any developers to drop something. They also like shut down their plans to rework Anthem this week. Like, and Anthem's I said
it's a mess of a game.
It was good. It was ambitious, but
yeah, exactly.
They were too ambitious with it.
Oh yeah, the game's awful, but you could see what they were trying to do.
It was great until you got to Endgame. That was the issue.
Yeah.
The Endgame was an infinite loop. Like they tried to do like a never-ending experience, but it literally was that no matter what gear you had, you could never get better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Not to
Like
mention,
there was no such
even
thing
look-
as an end tier.
See,
Yeah.
the thing about this Gaia game as well is like people, you've seen the success of GTA role playing.
Mhm.
This is a complete sandbox where people can have their own, like they could do whatever they wanted in that kind of structure. And I feel like it could, the untapped potential of something like this could have been absolutely amazing. So from that perspective, I'm quite disappointed. Where you have people who are hungry for a game like this. You have the GTA 5 people who they're dying for a new GTA 6, something to but this could have been
next
something
big baller.
exactly in that. This could have taken those players away from that game and started something quite amazing. But like we'll never know.
But at the same time, right? The funny thing is, it seems as if we've been saying it for the last couple of podcasts, and I just feel like a broken record saying it at this stage of the whole thing where the left hand doesn't know what the right is doing, right?
Mhm.
That's emphasized even more now because does the name Jade Raymond, sorry, does that ring any bells for you?
Nothing rings bells for me anymore, lad.
Can't even ring your own bell.
She was the creative director who left EA and caused Gaia to have to be cancelled. What did she leave for? The job to lead the Stadia team, which she was released from 2 weeks ago.
It's like, having a skydiving experience, deciding not to bring a parachute, but you're aiming for, this big, massive platform, like just a big
It's
sponge.
like
that will
it's
absorb-
like that scene.
And then you just decide at the last second, no, I'm going to hit this oncoming train.
No, it's like that scene from The Other Guys with Samuel. It was a Samuel L. Jackson and Dwayne The Rock
Aim
Johnson.
for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes. That's what it is like.
100%. There goes my hero. And then just,
It's ordinary.
But
that's
yeah,
exactly
like,
what that is.
there's one other thing that we that was brought to our attention actually by a fellow team member, Reneth, as well, that we just want to show. Like, we don't have, like, all we have here is the announcement trailer for this a new game. We're going to take a look at this trailer and then we're going to have a couple of words about it before we move on to our main topic of this evening. But no, Randy Pitchford, so fuck's sake. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think of this?
Like a hero by Foo Fighters out of my head.
There are some places in the universe.
I've got movement. I've got movement. I've got movement.
You don't fight alone.
Yeah, this has Ken written all over it.
I kind of think it's something I will try as well because from looking at that and just obviously, as they said at the end, survive the horde.
It's
reminds me-
aliens and it's co-op. Get it into me.
Literally, just as we actually talked about this earlier, it reminds me so much of Gears Horde, just with facehuggers
Yeah.
and Xenos. It's a me game too.
Yeah.
Do you know what it reminds me of?
Uh,
It reminds me of the proper full multiplayer experience of the classic Windows 98 Aliens vs Predator.
Wasn't that an RTS game?
No. Windows 98.
Oh,
one where you
sorry,
could choose to be
Yeah,
you could choose
yeah,
to be
the
alien, predator, or
Yeah,
marine.
yeah, or Marine, yeah, I remember that. Um, like,
Well, okay,
yeah.
okay. Here's me being the person who has nothing bad to say about any game other than the Blair Witch Project. Colonial Marines was fun. It
Oh,
was terrible. It was horrible, but it was
we got a
fun.
technical difficulties screen by chance.
No, but it was fun. It was a shy game, but it was fun.
Oh, that's awful. Um, this is something like this is a time where this game is coming out at the right time. Due to just everyone's current situation, so like the co-op games like this are coming out at the right time because it's bringing people together. It's bringing back a social aspect to games and stuff like that, where you're working together to achieve a goal. You're not competing against each other. It's a great time for any company to be releasing something with a co-op side to it, and just it's a little bit off topic, but at the same time, I seen it just today as well. When I was looking at articles and stuff. Did anyone see? Well, Ken, you might have seen it. The World of Warcraft thing happened in the last couple of days, where people have there's over 2,000 people have gotten together as a community to go back to level 1 and level the whole way up through together. So that they're ready in time for the
For the
Burning
Dark
Crusade
Portal,
launch.
for the Dark Portal opening, yeah, and to see
Yeah.
everything up on the top screen, you were not prepared, and for it to open.
Like for right now, obviously it's not an ideal situation because of the global pandemic, but it's a great time for any games with co-op aspects to come out and get people together. So like even towards us, like we have time to do things like the podcast and stuff like that, where we're getting together, we get to talk about things, and we get to we'll be going back to doing stuff like the couch potato stuff and things like that as well. So games like this coming out help us a lot as well. But it as I seen the second I seen it earlier on, before I even finished watching it, I said to the guys, "This looks like Gears co-op,"
The
and that's not
horde mode,
necessarily
yeah.
a bad thing.
It's not because
No, that
like,
was when the horde mode stuff started coming out and more people got into the likes of Call of Duty Zombies. That was when Fortnite Save the World mode was out and everything like that as well. That was the big thing.
yeah, and that's what I said. Like me myself, I used to love Gears, and when the Horde mode came out, that was literally my bread and butter for quite a while. And it's been a while since I've gone near anything of the such where it's basically just multiplayer PVE absolute bedlam, and I am really looking forward to because obviously, as you were saying yourself, Anna, it's at a perfect time where we can start branching people back together and integrating ourselves back into a more open society before everything gets back to normal.
Rennet, I love you.
But the thing is with what Reddit said a minute ago about wanting to hug a teammate with an M4A1 pulse rifle and let them feel the embrace. Do you know what came into my mind straight away? Nothing about an M4A1. What came into my mind was seeing Reneth. I'm sorry, no, the picture went in there, Reneth. I apologize. Just after having an interaction with a face hugger, and then just running up to you, Fano, hugging you, and then screaming something profane as a chest burster goes through the two of you.
We'll be installing in this game, so no, like I definitely think it's something we'll definitely have fun with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think because like we do play a lot of co-op games and stuff like that, but we always end up going back to like of Operation Raccoon City and stuff like that. Not that they're like they're not the best games, but they have a purpose for us to interact and play together. It's nice to have new things that take on that same role. Be it if they're story heavy, that's amazing because there's that other one. What's it called? It Takes Two. Myself and Ken will be doing that at some stage.
Oh, that
just looks hilarious.
Good. It looks brilliant.
And then we have this obviously as well. Coming out. It's nice to kind of have.
I'm going to enjoy
those
Reverse.
kind of
All right. I enjoyed Resistance. I'm going to enjoy Reverse.
It's just it's a good time to have your mates with consoles and PCs, etc., and want to play stuff together. Where you're not playing a core or like a PvP game, shouting at each other for making mistakes. This is just, as we already did.
I don't know. We're not going to be shouting at each other for making mistakes.
Oh, 100%. But like, in a more like an encouraging way than an insulting way. Like
Yeah.
we still go back and play Left 4 Dead. Myself and Ken did a playthrough of Portal 2
Yeah.
the other week. Like, these are old games. There's nothing. The reason we're doing this is because there's nothing like it.
Oh, dude, wait until Diablo 2 Remaster comes out. Like, do you know?
Oh, don't, Ken. Like, my erection, I can't hold it.
But it's like at the same time though, it's all of these co-op games. Like, it is the whole thing that they're really, all the companies are really, they're making what needs to be done right now, especially like you said with the way the world is at the moment. Do you know, like it can't be avoided. It needs to be done, and they're really doing a good job of it. And especially now, since more companies, and I don't mean the developers, I mean the platforms. So the likes of Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, everyone, they're opening the gates to allow the games that are not exclusives to be cross-compatible. So,
Yeah.
like, can you imagine how much better it'll be? Like, even just one example is Destiny 2. Destiny 2 at the moment has cross progression, where if you have, like, let's say if I'm playing it on Steam and you're playing it on PS5, I can transfer my character, like, I can log in on the PS5 and use my Steam characters on the PS5. And whenever they get on the PS5, it comes back to Steam as well. But they are bringing in cross servers where people on separate platforms can play together.
It's the same with Diablo 2, having the cross progression and stuff like that as well. The remake. It's just a good time to, get back into playing things with your mates. Because I'm sick of, this is not digging at anybody, I'm sick of FIFA. I'm sick of the shouting and roaring that comes with that, or League of Legends, or any of them kind of games. Don't get me wrong, I've been playing some Unreal Tournament off stream, but,
You haven't recorded it, there's no proof.
I know, but another old game that still stands.
Because there's nothing like it out there. Like, there's a demand to fill these voids. And with that, like, we've talked about, games that have been cancelled. We talked about Doom being incredible because it literally is.
Yeah.
And how well it's done. Sorry, Oshin. But we're that much in demand of things that we had in the past that our next topic, our topic of the week, is actually about mods and people modding games and bringing these things to us, because the companies aren't doing it.
So what I'm going to do is, there's a fairly long video that comes with this. It's about 5.5 minutes long. I'm going to play this, but I'm going to keep it mute. Like, no. I'll leave the sound on for like the first minute. And then I'll turn the sound down a good bit so that we can talk while we watch it. Just a little bit of an intro to this. We're not going to say straight off the bat what it's based on, but this is all running through, is it Fallout 4?
Fallout 4.
So this is a mod that someone is in the works for doing for Fallout 4, and this will make me go back to the game. It will. Let's take a quick look.
No one's spoken about this yet.
I was
Not
literally
really,
just
no.
about to say something. So it looks as if people in the modding community have gotten sick of the rumor mill when it comes to all the news of, Konami are working on a Silent Hill game. Silent Hill IP has been sold to Sony. Sony are working on it with Hideo Kojima. No, Hideo Kojima is doing it with his own thing. No, it was actually went to EA. Like, everyone's getting sick of hearing that there's going to be a new Silent Hill experience, and now someone's after using the Fallout 4 engine to make something, and based on what we've seen so far, this looks beautiful.
It really does. Like it takes on a perspective, and the best thing about it is like you're seeing all this stuff here, where they have the school, and now
This is
it's
all
starting to look-
straight out of Silent Hill 1, like.
Yeah, and now it's looking like hell and stuff like that, and it's done like that. But the best thing about anything being done in the likes of the Fallout engine is you have the option to do it first person or third person.
Okay.
So you could do it like classic, or you could do it like The Room.
Yeah. And they haven't, like, in no way is this polished. But then again, I actually don't feel like it has to be. I don't feel like Silent Hill itself is a polished game.
See,
I
you
don't
say
think
it doesn't look like it's polished. Like, so far, the parts of the school there, those are corridors that you can recognize. Like, it showed the
100
room that had the door with the two squares.
I don't mean polished as in, the how, like, the one for. I mean, like, the game itself isn't a polished. It doesn't look 100% graphically appealing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one thing I can see for that, like, I'm not the biggest Silent Hill player. As a matter of fact, I've never actually finished or played the better part of one. But just looking at that now, it just kind of homages back to the days where Silent Hill was a big, like, this big phenomenon, which it still is.
Oh,
I just think
Silent
it's-
Hill is probably one of the biggest games for a cult following.
Yeah, but I just think, like, when I spotted this earlier, I was like, oh my god, like, everything about it just screamed to me like this is how it we keep talking about it for the last couple of weeks and stuff like that. This is how we wanted to see it. This ticks the boxes for me, and, like, as a fan, to have something like this done by fans is, it's incredible to see where, like, the modern community are now and what they're working on. Yeah, so it's called Whispering Hills now instead.
For copyright
But-
reasons, obviously.
Yeah, I can't see, like, something like this being a failure. As long as they keep doing what they've done with what they have now and continue on that course, like, people are going to want it to, like, the extent that maybe they could finish this mod or whatever and have a spin-off game that is an independent. I wouldn't be opposed to, like, if they did this went well and then they released Whispering Hills 2, independently through the Unreal Engine, for instance.
Like, it really does look unbelievable.
Yeah, but it's and it's not like they showed a lot there. It's a pretty. They showed a corridor. They showed some rooms. They showed one just schizophrenic enemy, and some walking mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally a panoramic view of what's to come. They didn't
Like-
give away too much. Well, as it says, like, from the put there, you can currently download this mod.
It's just one of those things for me. Like, we end up with all these AAA titles where they keep showing off all these big action sequences and stuff like that, and whatever. Like, there's a whole genre built up around suspense out there, and that is something that that trailer personally was something that, for me, that was like, do you remember playing Silent? Does anyone remember playing Silent Hill for the first time and you were walking around real slow and you were trying to, like, not alert things, you didn't want to open doors? Like, that's how that feels.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely giving off that vibe. And you're saying that about playing it for the first time. Sure, that was me 6 months ago. Like I only recently got into Silent Hills. I was always into Resident Evil as a child, and I never had like neither me, my brother, or my sister ever had a Silent Hill title. I didn't have a PS2, so I never got to play 2, 3, HD collection, to know any of them.
Yeah,
And I only played them recently, and like, don't get me wrong, I'd say 7 or 8 year old me would have gotten to one of the puzzles. Let's say the piano puzzle in Silent Hill 1, and I would have just put the controller down. I wouldn't have been able to figure it out. I know that for a fact.
What's like interesting about this? Oshie made a point there saying the best thing about modern is big companies will find these people and hire them. That's not always the case, but now more than ever, it's becoming the case. Like we've seen it with Sonic Mania and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Sonic Mania is the best example of a community getting together, putting something together, and then the actual company saying, "Yeah, we'll take and go to." Obviously, we have no idea who owns the Silent Hill license anymore, or how it's going to be. They they've come out and said like all of the Silent Hill mobs and stuff will be included in this. So like the Siren Head mumblers, the lion figures, the ghouls, the nurses, the screamers, and Pyramid Head and stuff like that. It's going to have everything that makes that series like iconic. And honestly, it's one of those things where like I understand it for as someone like who I always talk about, the punk rock scene and the DIY scene and whatever else. It's something I'm very much so like I've always appreciated. This is something I would appreciate more than if they brought out a game now at this stage.
Again, just bringing it back to what you said about like you see all these big cinematic trailers for these AAA titles. It just brings it back to like a lot of them you're kind of expecting nowadays not to get your expected target of what they're showing you. You remember back to the days of what was it? Oh God. Hacker game. Fuck, I can't even remember it. Oh,
What was
it's gonna
it?
take me a minute. E3, it was the hacker game. I can't remember the name of it. It's gone out of my head.
What is it
Well,
called?
welcome
Watch
to the
Dogs.
game. Watch
Watch Dogs,
Dogs.
yeah. So if you remember back when they were releasing Watch Dogs 1, at their E3 trailer, and there was this big thing about the dynamic light and all this stuff, and then we got the release of the grayscale.
Yeah, but did you ever? I talked about this previously. I'm gonna see if I can find it, and if I can find it, I'm gonna show it to you guys, because it like literally for the last 4 or 5 podcasts, it's been mentioned. And it kind of annoys me that there's some people that have not seen this.
Oh dear. We're gonna have to clear this NSFW then, are we?
Well, yeah. The point that I'm getting, what you're looking at here with like this trailer video that we got with obviously the modding community, what you see is what you hear. It's one of the best things you see about modding communities, rather than these big AAA titles, monopolistic companies that are pumping out these games to make a fortune. The modding community are there to make games for the players.
Like that's the thing. Like we are in a position now more than ever with how big like the likes of indie companies and stuff are getting. These kind of things, companies can't ignore them anymore. You have companies shutting down things like this because it's better than any idea that they've pulled out of their arse in years. We are in a position, obviously, where these guys are obviously they're not doing a Patreon, they're doing a GoFundMe, which whatever what they have there is worth giving them some money for, like what we've seen. And shout out to the man in the chat there, Big Boss and Carney. He's another man who loves a mod just as much as anyone else. But we also got this week, just because I want to stay on the topic of modding, but not necessarily the game. We also got a sneak peek at something that's been done with Resident Evil called During the Storm. We got a demo for that this week, and it looks incredible. Like they're literally trying to recreate and make a new game without, you know, necessarily sticking to any of the storylines.
And the brilliant thing about it is the fact that this guy that's behind During the Storm, he really is a renowned modder. He was behind a couple of other like OG RE2 mods where it takes a story and puts it somewhere else. I think he was behind the Destiny mod. Like, don't get me wrong, there is a bunch of mods out there. There is a bunch of mods out there which are extreme difficulty modes. Like there's like the Kishu mod for Resident Evil 3, where when you go into the first save room where you're supposed to get the key to the door, there is 60 birds that have the heads of dogs inside there. Your first encounter with the Nemesis, there's 7 of him. And you have
Mortal
to kill
Knight.
him. And you have to kill him.
No.
And Mortal Knight's another example. He did Mortal Knight as well, yeah, but he's behind a bunch of them. Do you know what I mean? And since we're talking about it, what we could do is I'm actually going to bring up the demo that he released for when he announced the trailer. Do you guys want to see it?
Yeah.
Of course. Just set my hand to FAP.
And remember now, this is all through the engine of RE2 Source Next on the PC.
So, like, what's like super interesting about all of this is that well, we made Uncle B disappear. Magic trick in the night. No, what's really interesting about it is there's so many different perspectives for this. It's not just like two scenarios. This whole thing is like a whole group of people. This is like how society dealt with the start of the outbreak in the city.
This is literally the timeline of it is supposed to be like, of course it's before Leon and Claire get to the station. It's when Leon gets there and he's like, where's all the police officers? It's before that. This is the story of what happened to them just before the mission in Outbreak Fallout 2 Desperate Times. So the way I was explaining it earlier to you guys as well was, if you look at the series of The Walking Dead, this game is what Fear the Walking Dead is to The Walking Dead. It's when the outbreak hit. It's when the rats started eating vials of the virus down in the sewers and started spreading. Like, that's the timeline of this.
Like, as I said, it's so. It's supposed to, it's like this looks incredible, and like the guys that are doing it, I cannot believe how talented some of these people are. But it goes to show how, you know, we always say that, you know, companies don't listen to their, you know, their consumer base and stuff like that. The hype around something like these mods, you know, where it's just a couple of people working on it for their passion of the game, versus what companies actually think people want is completely different. Like, this seems to be a step in a direction where it's really like you're getting like an open world experience inside Raccoon City.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
it's like something that Reddit said earlier in the chat as well. It's not about, like, years ago when you looked at especially the likes of Commodore 64, Atari, all that sort of stuff. Back then it was, look at what we can do. Then it turned to the NES, the SNES, the Sega, and it was, we're able to improve on it. And then it was the PlayStation, original Xbox, all that sort of stuff, and it was like, we can improve on it even more. But it was always about the art. It was always about, look at what we can do with these graphics. Look at what we can do with this story. Whereas now, it's how much money can we make. Whereas here
It's
we
like-
have the modding community who are taking these engines and going, right. Like in a sense, this by no way am I saying that this is what this modder who made During the Storm is saying. I'm not saying this is what he's saying, but it's as if modders in this situation were turning to Capcom and going, "This is what we want. You gave us RE3 remake."
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, what I mean? Well, I'm not even like whatever. People wanted RE3 remake. They got it. They're either happy or they're sad about it. But this time that they're spending wasting on the likes of Resistance, which is dead. It's a dead game now. There's no point talking about it anymore. If they had taken that time and put it into something like this, people would be like, okay, I know I've seen Raccoon City. Okay, I know I've seen it from Claire and Leon's point of view. I've seen it from Jill Valentine's point of view. I'm probably sick of seeing it, but this is a whole other society of people that lived in the city.
This is the forgotten people who got wiped out by the nuke at the end of 3.
Yeah, exactly. This is it's from like it would probably be the most relatable version of Resident Evil 2 or 3, because it's the beginning. It's how people reacted to this how people react at the start of the outbreak. Where they're saying to people, "Oh, please don't, please sir, stay back, blah blah blah. I don't want to hurt you," and stuff like that. Instead of like you're playing RE2, you start off, you're running through the town, it's already covered in zombies, you can shoot them at will. Like,
And
in
more
a zombie
so,
apocalypse.
and more so the whole way where it's like, when you look at the later series, so let's say like Revelations 5, 6, all of them, where it's like, don't you remember Raccoon City? And then it's just, kill everything. I don't care, I'm not asking questions, I'm just going to kill them. Like that shock factor, that what in the name of God is happening here? That's gone.
There's no.
They
There's
brought that
there's
back
like-
with 7. They brought it back with 7, in fairness.
It did.
Yeah, that's no, but as I said, it's like they have no room for storytelling anymore.
Because it's about the money, it's not about the art anymore.
But even towards the remakes, like, they had a potential to go in there with these games and do something, and add they obviously add something new to it, which they did in small bits, but they had the potential to. I've always been confused, obviously, with the timelines and how they've worked in those two games. Obviously, because they have timestamps in the games, we don't need that anymore. But they haven't told the story. They literally just picked up what they had 20 years ago, went boom, slapped a coat of paint, and I went, yeah, here you go. Oh, actually, no, hold on. We're going to take all of this out. This too, and you're just going to have to figure this out on your own.
Nice one for that.
No, I just saw her in the background there, so.
Yeah.
But just to sidestep from that a moment, just something we were talking about a moment ago. This was, I'm not gonna lie, this was a meme. If anyone remembers No Man's Sky,
Oh.
did you
I
play
remember
No
it
Man's Sky?
now.
Did you play it, Uncle B?
I've played the No Man's Sky. I've literally
If
put
this-
about 20 minutes into it. I was like, nah.
If this is the wrong one, let me make sure it's the right one first.
To
It is. It is. Okay. I just needed to play it for half a second and make sure it was the right one. Now, this trailer came out after the game was released. Everyone remembers the dumpster fire that was the release of No Man's Sky. There was
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z promised, and about 10% of X was delivered.
Quite literally, yeah, it was an absolute travesty, but
yeah,
get to what
just
happened afterwards.
but just watch this for a second. And for the two of you who can't hear this right now, 1 second, I'll send it to you. Because it's all in the sound. It's all in the sound throughout the whole thing.
All in the hips. It's
So you guys got that link?
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Right, I'm going to play that for the lads there now.
For those at home,
To Jurassic Park.
Whew.
someone has amazing harmonica skills, and that's all I have to say about that.
But anytime someone mentions
no.
the release and the downfall of No Man's Sky, don't get me wrong, they came back amazingly, and it's a brilliant game now. But when that first came out a couple of years ago, it was the best thing ever.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I remember playing No Man's Sky within the first couple of weeks of release, and I was like, "What is this absolute hot pile of garbage?" And there, going back a couple of months ago, I was watching a fellow content creator play it, and I was like,
It's
may
ever
as well give it
since
another chance.
it's ever since they brought out. That's the thing. It's ever since they brought out the update when they brought it to the Xbox. They brought it to the Xbox One, and PC at the time, I think.
Yeah,
And,
because it's on Game Pass on PC. And as I was saying, I went into it and I was expecting this absolute travesty of a dumpster fire to still be what it was.
Mm.
And I came out pleasantly surprised, but it's still not a game that I would sit down and sink into.
In VR, dude, it is unbelievable.
I think for me, like, I agree with you there, B, but like, I think for me, it's the fear factor of, you know, going into it now after seeing like so much time put into it. What it reminds me of, there seems to be a pattern with games where everything is released, you know, too early and stuff like that. Like we had it with the Division, and then that finished strong. We had it with Destiny 1, and then that finished strong. And then we have it with No Man's Sky and blah, blah, blah. But there's always, every time I go back into them games, and there's always that fear of just getting fistfuls of shit again.
Where you'll dive about 60 to 100 hours into it, and then you're hit with something that
just
makes
an
it all a
absolute
waste.
bucket load of shit. Like, just, oh no, here it comes over the horizon.
But that's what happened with people with Anthem, though, because Anthem at the start, the basis of it was unreal. The whole thing that if you started the game a month after its release, you got a different tutorial than the people played it at launch. The more stuff that was done by the community, the world changed. The NPCs changed. You know, like that in itself was unbelievable.
So, yeah, there's been some unbelievable concepts with really bad execution over the last couple of years. And that's why we go back to the modern community, because they're giving us the fresh experience that we want, the way that we want it. And that's unfortunate that companies can't replicate that. Like,
it's kind of like, as you were saying, it's kind of like the modern community are the ones that are giving us the games that the developers actually promised us.
that's it. Yeah, exactly. Like, we got mods that we messed around with. Like, I did the RE7 thing where I had the Simpsons mod in it, and it's terrifying. Just it is. Let's just not talk about that. But at the same time, like they're fun mods. But then we get stuff like, you know, the Whispering Hills game. We've gotten the During the Storm game. We got Mortal Night, and stuff like that. And we've got the Hunter mod, like,
There's
which
the Hunter
is
mod,
not.
there's Ada mod, there's the Desperate Times in R2 engine, which is the Marvin mod, Barry's mod. There's so many of them. Like, the modding community is unbelievable. Like like I've always been a Resident Evil fanboy. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a Resident Evil fanboy. The mods that are out there for that only scratch the surface to the potential of the modding community in general.
Like even like I know we all about the things we're talking about, like Silent Hill and Resident Evil West. There's there's the new threat mods for Final Fantasy VII. There's going to be one for Final Fantasy VIII soon. There's all these different things where people love the characters, they love these games, they love the settings. All they want is a little bit of variation,
There's one other
and that goes a long way.
There's one other tiny thing I just want to show you guys. This seems to be a trend that I've done on each of the podcasts each time, where when we're getting close to the section where, by the way, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat and we'll get to them once we're finished talking about these different subjects. But one little thing that I came across here, which I always take Moroxide by surprise with these.
What did you come across?
I'd say this is going to make everyone, a lot of people anyway, at least, excited for a piece of hardware that no one seems to be able to get their hands on at the moment because it still is very expensive. But yeah, let's take a quick look at this. And I apologize, I muted it. I need to unmute it. I do that in case any of the ads on the side of the page autoplay some audio. And let's
You want ads? Get your redirect merch at the redirect website, teamredirect.com. /merch. We throw our own ads in.
I'm here in the gardens at Lake Merritt.
This is so great. It's like I'm actually here, John.
Welcome. This
And
is
what the
amazing,
fuck is this?
and it's what I'm so excited about.
Google
Enabling
Glass.
friends to play and explore the world together, no matter where they
Oh.
are. I'm gonna have a look around.
I'm excited to join you in this adventure.
Yo.
There are quite a few Pokemon appearing around here. Let's take a walk. Whether you're exploring a brand new park or just walking through a familiar neighborhood, augmented reality can make the real world a little more magical. In the future, we imagine a real world filled with adventures, helpful information, and of course, a lot of friends.
Proof of concept, not for
Pikachu.
not for consumer use. What?
Here you go.
This is the worst version of Pokemon Go I've ever
AI
seen.
that's grounded in the real world, aware of us and the environment, is an incredibly powerful
That's
tool.
what it is. It's
It becomes
Pokemon
even
Go
more
for
powerful
augmented
when
reality
we can
glasses.
share it. Someone I know is here now.
And the mortality rate across the world has shot up.
Hey, Veronica.
Hi, John. Do you want a battle?
Steve
I
on
don't
the
know,
sidewalk.
Veronica.
Watch out
This
for that
usually
train.
doesn't end well for me.
Can you not just
but
like
I'm
picture
here.
like
What's
you're
important is
outside,
you
you're
never
outside
give up.
coppers, you throw on the Google glasses. You on down the
Let's get
road
ready.
has the Google glasses,
Let's go.
and then you're like, let's Pokemon battle, and then the two of you just get the shit kicked out of you for having nerdy glasses on.
Yeah, quite literally.
That's literally how that
It-
would go down.
It is an amazing proof of concept for.
And your mic's muted.
Bleh.
Ken's mic's turned off.
Um,
There we go.
but
Yeah,
that's the thing. It is like, this is the next step realistically when you think about people like yourself that can't do VR. And especially like there was people who have this now for Pokemon. Like Pokemon Go is Niantic Research are doing this themselves. But someone had a proof of concept again as well. And a public demo for people who did get their hands on proof of concept. Why do you have a banana peel on your head? But where it was
like, I wonder who will notice it first.
But
And then
it was,
chat noticed.
But that's the thing. It was Yu-Gi-Oh. So you could get Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You could put little QR codes on each one of your cards, and if you looked at them with your QR scanner, you could put them on the field in front of you in augmented reality, and you could battle with another trainer. There was a way of synchronizing them.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Just looking at that trailer there, like the proof of concept for the Google AR glasses, which is what I believe they were. It's like it's a big step. It's like the whole thing with me and VR. I think VR is going in the right direction. but there's still a ways for it to go. And then again, with augmented reality, it's taking its baby steps now. I can't wait to see what it comes out with in the future.
That's the thing. Like it's only right now, as long as they don't get too money. Like it always comes back to money. As long as they're not too money hungry, they'd be able to do amazing things. Like especially for, like, look at it for the accessibility route. Like, could you imagine? Like, I know we can't imagine it because we're not in this situation. But let's say someone who's quadriplegic, giving them some sort of VR experience where they're sprinting a marathon. Do you know what I mean?
I think that would be like, that's obviously the end goal for like AR and VR and, you know,
And haptics.
yeah, but obviously I think that they're very special like occasions / reasons to do these things. For me, I think there's just gonna be so many accidents over this stupid shit. Like,
Playing
there's
Pokemon Go on Connolly Station.
It's already happened with Pokemon Go. People getting mugged all over the world and stuff like that.
There
But,
has been situations as well with certain landmarks. There was one in particular. I'm not going to name the place, you know, just for decency's sake. But there was a certain place in the world, a certain historical place where it just so happened.
Monument.
It was basically the way Google Maps integrate, or the way Pokemon Go integrated with Google Maps. It would take information about different monuments and it would place Pokemon there, depending on information about the monuments. Now, there was information about a certain place that had the word gas mentioned in its history, and you could literally go there and catch Ghastlies. But there was complaints put in against Niantic Research, and they did make a form where you could request to get like the technology taken away from that area of the map. And you know, since then there hasn't been as many mess ups. But it's just little things like that where it's amazing technology, but there's just something that slips under the rug and they forget something. Do you know what I mean?
No, fairness, you talk about calling a Ghastly being there. It could have been so much worse. They have coughing and wheezing.
But you know what I mean. It might have been one of them, but it was one of those Pokemon. Do you know what I mean?
It was one of the the smoke type Pokemon.
Exactly.
Which obviously with the location that I think about is it is quite offensive. Obviously, there's still people alive today getting over the atrocities that happened around there, and it is a major slip up. But it's something that could easily fly under the radar of these developers.
But
it takes this trial and error and these little upsets to kind of fix the little cracks here and there.
Yeah, and that was another one where there was haunters outside a cancer ward in a certain country. There was what's the name of those clinics in the States? Is it Family First or abortion clinics?
You're talking abortion clinics? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the proper name for it, but outside them they had. Do you know the way there was like
family planning centers?
That was it. Yeah. They had they had the baby forms of Pokemon.
The only thing I think would be hilarious is if they had Lickitungs along red light districts. Seriously though.
Or Machamp outside a bleeding boxing.
Outside the gyms, yeah.
That did happen. Machamp was outside Arnold Schwarzenegger's gym.
Seriously though, like, you know, I mean, whatever. It happens, you know.
Bringing that back again.
Yeah, I just ignored that. It happens and whatever, and we move on. Like, mistakes are made. There's always going to be mistakes in video games, especially something like that, which works completely online.
But that's the thing that's important is that they acted on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They took the information, they apologized for it, and they fixed it.
It's not a wage what? That sounds like a band name.
What's Weight Watchers? but it just shows that like all of these things now, like the platform that's doing this now for Microsoft is called Microsoft Mesh, and it's Azure that is powering it at the moment. They're hoping that this would actually make it a lot more affordable. So hopefully in the next, I don't know, 5-10 years, we'll have some augmented reality glasses that would be along the same prices as as VR headsets. You know?
Yeah.
Because right now they're what, like 2-3 grand?
See, what's going to happen is that the modding community are going to come and get involved and have it done in about a week. I believe in my boys.
And also with that, no shit's given.
Yeah. So, Ken, do we get any questions?
Not that I saw.
Well, aren't you people lovely?
No, but does any for any of the stuff that we have been talking about now, does anyone want any other opinions, anything at all? Does anyone want to know Fano's honest opinion about Voxtracer, which is slightly NSFW, but well, what happens in his bed, can come out here now.
Oh, a good question came up there. Where can you get a beanie like that? Fano, do you want to take that one? Oh, the sleeves are coming down.
So if you head on over to teamredirect.com.
She means with the banana.
Bananas, terms and conditions apply. Bananas come separately.
Yeah, see terms and conditions for more information. No, guys, yeah, if you do want to check out our merch, we do have a merch store over on Teespring that we're adding stuff to all the time, updating it with all our content creators and stuff like that. This is the first hat. No one else has one of these, just me, and it's great.
And he's scared that someone else is after buying one now, so he added the banana to it to keep it unique.
Yeah, this is mine. No one else can have this one. It's also the first one, but we had to. The reason it took so long for us to get the hats up on the store is we had to get everything digitized. So we had to work with our own.
It's not just a print; it's an embroidery. So
yeah, it's actually stitched into it. It's not like just a print on.
It's not a print.
Oh, me hand, no, me banana.
It's a fancy old mug, all right. I was going to wear the Murr t-shirt for the podcast. Or the Hardy one, but both of them are in the wash, and they're both in the wash right now. So
you can have my face.
Could be top on. I literally that was in the wash, and I was like, "Is it dry?"
Yeah, this yogurt's weighing a ton.
It is on the page. If you go to the main page with everything and scroll down,
it's actually everything is separated into sections. So if you just click on any of the redirect stuff, it'll all be in the same thing. Or even if you go to the Team Redirect website and click on this merch from there, you'll actually be brought into it.
And also, we're in the last. Was it yesterday that Hardy and Murr stopped being
I'm
available?
I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
it's or the 4th. I think it's the 3rd or the 4th.
It's the next day.
I don't know
anyway.
Yeah. So guys, just as he was saying, a quick reminder: if you do want to get your hands on this very, very limited edition merch, it is gone within the next day or two. I literally bought mine last week, and I'm looking forward to getting my "Are You Hardy" t-shirt.
I am Hardy, right? If anyone wants specific links, I can do that now because I'm on the store.
So just to show you guys,
we're not here to talk about us in that. Like we'll talk about it, but like that's not the main goal here, guys. If you have any actual questions about, what we talked about tonight, or if you've got any questions regarding events that may come up or the team or anything like that, now is your chance to hit us up while we're here.
But just to show you that, as you can see here, here's the Hardy t-shirt. As you can see, it's less than 24 hours that is left. I will say, this part of it here, where Moroxide is upside down, I'm not going to lie, I was having a moment in the bathroom, and I looked down for a second, and just having Moroxide staring you in the face, it's a scary experience.
You finished so quickly.
Definitely worth it. And then also, only for another day and 14 minutes, so it's about to be less than 24 hours, there is the Murr merch. This does also include the likes of, hoodies and everything like that as well. So yeah.
Also, you can use code Murr, which is
MRR.
yeah, which is in the chat now, for 10% off our entire store.
So if you click the
And
little
that's only
redirect
that's-
icon, you click the little redirect icon at the top, you can go through everything. It loads.
I literally put the link for the beanie in
It loads.
the chat.
I'm
I'm not having this.
And also, you can have one thing that I still can't get over. You can have the bottom half of Lucy Lover's face on your face.
Quite literally.
Yes.
But guys, that's not to say that is the grand total of what we have to offer. There will be more merch coming within the next couple of months, obviously. Myself, I have a few bits to work on.
There'll be. Hopefully, we'll have something there for everybody from everybody over the next couple of months and the
It's
coming
just
weeks.
various content creators are just finalizing a couple of designs, making sure that what they want to put up is what they want to put up, and so on and so forth.
Basically, you lazy bastards.
Getting back to that, like, guys, do you have any questions that you would like to ask myself, Ken, or Mr. Fano up top here? Or are we ready to just...
So Metal Burner has actually asked, what is our views on the safety aspect around mods and the legality? So do you mean in regards to a lot of the time, and correct me if I'm wrong here now, lads, as far as I'm aware, there is no issue. Companies don't have an issue with people making mods for a game as long as the modder is not making money.
Yeah, it's selling it as its own identity that they have a problem with. But my big thing when it comes to mods is do your research on them. For every mod, there's a forum. Do your research on it. Like, there's obviously, there's NSFW mods and stuff like that. But like, every modding community has, descriptions of everything. Oh my god, that is the best. I'll get onto that question in a second. But yeah, like, modding communities, like, literally, if you have any questions about it, just check the forum out. And just be careful what sites you're using as well. A lot of websites, etc., will
install malware, and
yeah,
you have to be really careful of what site you use. Obviously, going back to what you were saying about the whole issue of plagiarism, it's more a homage to the game itself. Obviously, they were saying you don't want to make any monetary gain from it. Anything that is made for the platform is put into the platform itself.
Exactly.
But yeah, also check on Reddit. If you're looking for a specific, check it on Reddit, because usually there's a community that goes with the mod on Reddit, and they'll be able to guide you to where to get stuff the safest way. Yeah, it's just be safe with it, and ask your friends. If you're like, literally, if someone is using something you think that looks cool, ask them about it. Some of the mods now come with software for installing them. Like, there's the Seventh Heaven one for Final Fantasy and stuff like that, and that will do the research for you. You type in what you want, it will go and find it, and in the safest way possible, install it for you. There's Nexus mods; they have their own things and stuff like that as well. Just
Nexus
do
mods
your
is
research.
a very good community. There's a whole thing where, yes, they have a side of it where you make an account and there's like a premium version where you can like download the mods at a quicker pace and stuff like that. But you don't need to pay for it.
No.
But on to the next question that came in there, and I'm just gonna play a little something here. The lads won't be able to hear it, but I hope the reactions from you guys will tell the lads what I did.
I hope it's what I want it to be.
I unmuted the stream so I could just hear it. Yes.
What was it?
The startup sound for Windows XP.
Oh, man, I love Windows XP. There was a song released, at the start of the infancy of YouTube about Windows XP, and it being fat but sexy. And it's the greatest song of all time. Just look it up on YouTube. Windows XP, fat but sexy. It's also done with Microsoft Sam. Great man. Great man.
Oh, just listen to Microsoft Sam reminds me of Arby and the Chief.
I miss looking up something, when you search something on your computer, and then the dog runs off to get it and comes back.
Microsoft Sam, fat but sexy.
Yes. Windows XP. Fat but sexy. June. But yeah, it's I love XP. I wish there were operating systems like that. Obviously, yeah, things move on and things aren't compatible. But it's the fastest operating system there has been for the last 20 years. So
I know,
I miss it.
But the thing is, you're saying like you really are saying that you're that I'm making you feel old, right? You're supposed to pause. I'm making you feel old, am I? How about this one?
I don't know. See, I thought I was going to mute the stream. What do you do?
I'd say not many people are going to remember that one.
What, Windows 3.1?
No, 95.
Oh, does anyone remember the fact that you just had to literally type in a command prompt to update Windows from Windows 2.0 to 3.1?
Mm-hmm.
You literally just went in the command prompt, typed in update, blah, 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 and it just did it.
Pretty much. And then as soon as we started hearing things about, Windows ME and all the rest of it, like all the Fanos brain did was this, and that was the end of him.
I missed the sound.
I literally just caught the end of it. But yeah, that is Fano in a nutshell.
It was the shutdown sound for XP.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good
All I want
times
to hear
using
from what my brain does is just the error message. Dum.
Oh yeah.
I do love one of those.
But it was the good times when you
or
just
talking to Microsoft Sam and he'll tell you how your Rafflecopter's doing. Swat. Man, I fucking love Microsoft Sam.
It really goes back to the whole thing where people are trying to advance, and this is going on a bit of a tangent, and I apologize, but it really goes where people go on about how there's so many advances happening in technology these days. Look what we can do now with medicine. Look what we can do now with visual stuff. But it's like the 3310 with Snake. The 3330 with polyphonic ringtones. Do you know?
I don't know. There's nostalgia and then there's idiocracy, but no, I love Windows XP. I wish that they still supported it, but
fuck's sake,
they don't make money off it, so they don't support it.
Yeah. I see. You're writing something. Would you like some help with that?
Fucking paper tape.
With his big,
with
his big judgmental eyebrows.
I used to love that in school because we used to have when we had computer class, all the computers had XP, and if you're in any way like computer savvy, you could get behind XP so easily, especially because they ran everything off of one server holding all the passwords, but they didn't know how to separate the accounts. So if I logged into my account, I was an admin. If I was an admin, I could get back into the server and change all the other computers' passwords.
Those were the days.
What it was.
Yeah.
Windows XP and Microsoft Server 2002. Miss you guys.
I just going back to like old technology. Do any of you remember back in the days with the old flip phones where you could basically pair a Bluetooth device to somebody's phone and then just completely brick their phone?
Yeah, brick their phone. Yeah. That was I got kicked out of so many classes for that. But yeah, it looks like I don't know. We don't have
on this new fandangled Bluetooth, and your phone's fucked.
I'm so sorry, Renith. You need to join us for like I want to hear these reactions live from you. I swear to God. Like wanting a Windows OS so real that if he hits cap lock 10 times rapidly, a car comes out of the screen and crashes into him.
I feel like he spent way too much time with the PS1 demo, with the fucking dinosaur.
It's content.
You definitely spent too much time with that. the very first PS1 demo had this like demo of a dinosaur and to show off graphics.
Wasn't it the back engine for the Tomb Raider 1 T-Rex?
It was something to do with it, but like it didn't look like that in the game at all. This was like a proper rendered
it was
thing.
Eidos, but it was is it Eidos? Edios?
Adios, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But anyway. So we're going to be, unless there's any other questions, we're going to be finishing up there now in the next couple of minutes. So, and you know, the lads can't hear it, but we do have the music playing in the background, cueing the fact that we're going to be closing up soon. So I think we'll get to what we normally do around this time. And if you guys don't mind, there's not really much, or it was idiots. Yeah, we're idiots. But yeah, I'll start off with myself. So, like I was saying earlier, I was delighted last night when I decided to de-rust a little bit of Wand of Gamelon and ended up getting my third world record back. I was happy with that. And the guy who took the world record from me said that he was done with the game. I was delighted to see in the Zelda CDI speedrunning Discord today that he said he's back in the game. We're going to have a back and forth with it. And it's going to be great. And one thing that I'm going to be speaking with Moroxide about this, but one idea that the guys brought up, I mentioned the whole fact of seeing if I could get the guy who runs the game, Grumpmeister. He runs the game on the actual CDI itself. And I was trying to see if for Save Loads for Lives, we could see if he could do the commentary while I'm playing. Maybe he'd do a run of Faces of Evil. We'll see what happens. And the other two guys, the fella who I was having a back and forth with for the 100% record, and the guy that I'm currently having a back and forth with for the All Cutscenes record, said, how about we have a 100% three-way race? So,
Jesus.
So we might see about putting that in as like an incentive or something. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of Valheim. Going to be going back to CVX either in a small while or else tomorrow, one or the other. But yeah, that's me for that's me for right now. How about you, Uncle B? Do you know roughly what you're going to be doing for the next week or so?
Well, not really. It's kind of a mashup. There's a couple of games that I have to go back to. Obviously, I want to look at the DLC for RE7.
Mm-hmm.
But there is quite a lot of. I was playing Ori and the Will of the Wisp, which is an absolutely phenomenal game.
Beautiful
Graphically.
Such a beautiful game.
And then I was playing God of War, just coming up to obviously the release of God of War, but it's been pushed back. I will finish it, but no matter what game I've been playing, I've been kind of enjoying, and I'm starting to branch out into so many different avenues, and I'm really, really enjoying the content that I'm putting out right now.
And you're doing a really good job of it as well, man.
No, thank you very much. Hollow Knight, I haven't played Hollow Knight, but my other partner here, the Aurora Phoenix, has played it, and she does want to get back to it.
Does T want to come and say hi and give a wave?
I don't know. Do you want to come over and say hi?
Really? I'm in a bit of a game of COD.
Fuck your card, say hi.
Hang on, turn myself up.
Did she say she has to clean herself up?
No. So, this is my partner, the Aurora Phoenix.
And of course she hides behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guys, literally that's it for me. I've been kind of branching out into new avenues, and if you want to find out where I am, it's twitch.tv/UncleBGames.
Thanks very
Shit,
much.
that's not how you spell it.
I suppose we have to go over to this bastard.
Oh yeah, I'm such a sexy fucker. No, I don't know what's wrong with me anymore. That's the title of my album coming out soon. No, but really, I don't know what's wrong with me anymore. I'm going to be playing, the bits of everything. I have to kill the last boss in Final Fantasy VII. I have to finish Metal Gear Ghost Babel. Then we get to move on to either. See, I don't know. I can just work my way through all of these sexy games I have. And then, I either have to do one thing. I either have to start playing these, or I have to set up the Wii and do Resident Evil 2 on it. And there's a couple of games I'm looking forward to that are coming out as well, though. But yeah, I'm going to be looking at trying to set up a couple of things in the coming weeks, just to get people involved and do some community challenges, and I have to do more podcast scripts, and
Sure, God love you.
Me. More about me. Fuck everyone else. Me.
No, you're high throne there, mister.
Not me.
Me.
Yeah, no. But to sign off and be very nice about it, guys, thank you for joining us tonight. We had a blast. I'm going to kick Fox in the head.
Boy, what did you do this time? Ah, right.
Viva la bomb.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping in, guys. Thanks for having the chat with us. Hopefully, we get some really nice news during the week for next week's podcast. It's always Tuesday at 10 o'clock. The time hasn't changed. The day did once, but that's because one can. The day has changed once, but that probably won't happen again. That was a bit of a miscommunication. We're also trying to keep up to date with all the other stuff that's going on, like we did the State of Play and the Nintendo Directs and stuff. So we could pop on at any time without any notice. So if you do have us and you are following us, do turn on notifications. It's not like a normal channel which goes off every day. It goes off, it goes once a week, definitely. But after that, we'll see. But if you want all the latest news and stuff, guys, do check us out on Twitter for any of our own news. And down below here, there's a little thing that says team, and it has colon, and it says redirect. Click on that. You'll see all our content creators. Go give them a follow, support the guys, and we'll see you all very soon. Ken has already hit the music, so I'll just make my way out.
And let's make our way over to Clouded Rage, who's currently running trying to take up another speed game that Rennett's after reminding him of.
What do you mean I'm still on the air? The fuck is going on here?
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.